Today, we're talking about community, specifically how building community can grow your business more sustainably than any ad campaign, sales script, or incentive plan. This episode has scripture. It has statistics. It has the Jeep wave. It has Peloton riders bonding over shared sweat and trauma. So let's jump in. Lady bosses, are you working even after putting the kids to bed but still not getting results?
Are you tired of spending money on ads that aren't getting engagement?
Do you feel burdened that you aren't fulfilling your purpose in life because you are so consumed with work?
I'm your host, Brooke Boltz. I'm an attorney and founder of Boltz Legal. I started my business and in 1 year was bringing in 7 figures and am now bringing in multi-7 figures.
And I'm your co-host, Rachel Boltz, owner of Boltz Media. I've helped many businesses build their online presence and increase their revenue through digital marketing.
Want to hear how we did it?
We are here to help you achieve your goals personally, professionally, and spiritually.
So kick off your high heels, sit back, and let's ignite that passion.
We're Miss Biz, where we're putting the Miss in biz.
Let's get biz done.
My daughter Leia is 14 years old, and she inspired today's episode. She's been playing basketball since she was maybe 6 years old, and she's played for her school for the last 2 years. She's in 8th grade, and last year they even won the middle school regional championship. So this year we expected that she was going to play for middle school, but might also have an opportunity to play for the high school JV team. And to my surprise, when she and I discussed that possibility, she was dead set that she did not want to play for the high school JV team. And so I started asking questions why, and what I came to discover is that she didn't feel like they wanted her there. She felt, like she wasn't included, she didn't feel valued, and she basically felt like, I don't think they really want me on the team. And so I did the loving, nurturing thing that all compassionate mothers do, and I made her play anyway. And
tough love.
Yes. I mean, Proverbs says train up a child, doesn't say let them quit because they face some life challenges. So here's what happened. She started out with the middle school season and she was just rocking it. I mean, scoring left and right, got her confidence really up, and the JV coach noticed and made a comment to her sister that was like, hey, why don't we bring your sister up? Comment to my older daughter to, why don't we bring your younger sister up to play on JV? And so one thing led to another, and now she's started playing for the JV team. And her attitude towards playing is completely different than it previously was. Now she looks forward to the games. If she doesn't have a game for a few days, she'll be asking me, when's the next game? And she's just really thriving because she feels a part of something and feels like she is wanted and valued. So that got me thinking about the business application of this and how that's really what everybody wants, is to feel like they're a part of a community and feel like they're valued and loved. And so that's what inspired this podcast, is to talk about how we can learn from some businesses who've done an excellent job at this and how we can apply it to our own businesses.
I love that. I mean, community, it creates confidence, it creates that engagement, and engagement then creates growth. So if you're not using community as a strategy for your business, you're really missing out on a lot of opportunities to grow and just achieve that next level of success. So we're going to talk about a couple brands who have community down to a T. And the first one is the Jeep community. I don't know if there's really really too many other types of communities that can really compare to the Jeep community. I guess there's motorcyclists as well that would be considered a community.
Harley riders.
Yes. But the Jeep community, they really have it down. They wave to each other, even if they don't know each other, they've never met. They have that thing in common that they bought the same car or vehicle, so suddenly they become family. And Jeep sells belonging, not vehicles. So Jeep is not selling cars, they're selling that sense of adventure, that toughness, personality, and freedom. This creates a shared identity among owners. Jeep owners love customizing their Jeeps, and this has become a form of self-expression which builds connection. When people share photos of their Jeep modifications, they're not just posting a car, they're posting a piece of themselves, and that conversation then creates that community.
When I was younger, I owned a Jeep for a while, and it was because of the just because of the perception that the Jeep had, which was this free spirit and the adventure and those type of things. So I bought a Jeep. It was a red Jeep, and but I didn't have it for too long because I learned that I was not a good Jeep driver. I would bump it into things all the time, including my garage, and so it had dings and scratches all over it, and I couldn't drive it well. So, but I never took advantage of the Jeep community, but I enjoyed the vehicle for the little while that I had it, but I'm not destined to be a Jeep person, I guess.
Jeeps are super cute. I had a Jeep briefly as a rental vehicle when the transmission in my Durango died. I was able to drive a Jeep, and they're fun. They're fun and they're super cute. So there's a lot that Jeep does to go beyond just the aesthetics or the vehicle features. They really do an excellent job at creating a whole persona for these Jeeps. And one of the things or the initiatives that they started was Jeep ducking. This began in 2020. People would leave small rubber ducks on other Jeeps with encouraging notes. And this was pure community-driven marketing.
Yeah, what I was surprised to learn is that Jeep didn't invent the ducking, that the community did.
Okay.
So, but when the community started this, Jeep was smart enough to embrace it and amplify it on their social media. So now the Jeep dealerships participate, local groups host ducking meetups, and people collect ducks on their dashboards. Even when we walk by a Jeep, my kids will notice and say, I want to have a Jeep because I want to have all the ducks. And so it definitely, it gets noticed and is unique and stands out and really has built that community.
Yeah, no, it's super cute. So Jeep has thousands of local clubs worldwide. The brand extends beyond just the product to sell real life connection. Jeep Jamboree sells out fast, and people actually pay hundreds of dollars to drive their own car through in a mud-filled forest with other owners.
Yeah, I mean, Jeep just really has created a community in an exemplary way. So when we look at summarizing what Jeep has done and how we could look to apply it to our own businesses, there's 5 takeaways that I want to share. First is there's a shared identity. Jeep owners have that shared identity of being adventurous, outdoors people. There's shared rituals, which is the waving and the ducking. There's shared experiences where they get together and meet up to duck each other or drive their Jeeps together. There's the offline and online connection. There's online Facebook groups where they talk about their Jeeps and all the modifications and things that they are doing to their Jeeps. And then there's a sense of belonging to the Jeep community. And when one person sees someone else driving a Jeep, they automatically have a connection just because they own the same vehicle. It's kind of like if you're in a room of a bunch of strangers and you see that one person who kind of looks like you might have some similarities with them.
Right.
You gravitate to them because you think that you'll have some commonalities that you can talk about.
Yeah.
Jeep owners are kind of the same. It's like, I own a Jeep, you own a Jeep, so that means we must have some things in common just beyond our vehicle.
Yeah. When I'm thinking of other examples, I'm thinking about the military as well. And it doesn't even necessarily just have to be like the Marines or the Navy. Like all branch owners, if they see somebody wearing a hat or something, they automatically gravitate towards one another. Sure. And they have that commonality of the shared values and beliefs, and they just instantly become friends and bond, and a lot of them end up like staying friends years later.
Yes, and as you're talking, that reminds me of another community, the sororities and fraternities in colleges. I mean, I have friends who their sorority sisters are still their very best friends. It's where they get all their networking connections. Yeah. It's where they get their referrals. It's where they go get together still and have reunions and get-togethers. That sorority, fraternity, sister and brotherhood is a lifelong community that people join, and it has a major impact on their life. And a lot of times it has great connections that leads to opportunities they may not otherwise have.
Do you love the Miss Biz podcast?
Because we love you.
Here's 3 things you can do to show your support.
1, write us a review. Apple, Spotify, and Google My Business are the best platforms to write a review.
2, follow us on social media. Our handle is @MissBizPodcast.
3, join our Facebook group, Miss Biz Nation, for exclusive content and behind-the-scenes footage. Also, ask questions related to your business and discuss topics from our episodes. Peloton is another brand that does this really quite well. Peloton riders, they cry together, they celebrate together, they hashtag together, they ride alone together. They have friendships with instructor. I can't talk today. They have friendships with instructors they've never met. And Peloton didn't just sell a bike, they sold a community. So the way that you can translate this for your business is, if a car and a stationary bike can build tribes, so can you.
So here's how they did it. Peloton instructors are not just instructors. They are motivational speakers. They are life coaches, comedians, pastors, entertainers. There's all kinds of options. So people choose instructors that they like.
Right.
And so people don't come away saying, oh, I rode the Peloton today. They say, I took a Cody Rigsby class. They identify as being part of the tribe of whoever that instructor is. And so the instructor is building rapport, building relationship through a screen.
Right.
With someone they've never seen and don't know at all.
Yeah. No. That's pretty powerful. And that too is genius on their part, because they're not just finding any instructor. I'm sure they have like a very selective process when it comes to hiring instructors, because they want to make sure that they're going to be able to build that community and have people want to continue on.
The instructors are influencers.
Right. Right.
who happen to ride Pelotons.
Yeah. So Peloton celebrates their riders' milestones. That means every 50 rides, 100 rides, birthdays, and personal achievements. And when an instructor shouts your name during a live ride, it's a dopamine hit. It's belonging, it's visibility, and this single feature dramatically increased user retention.
Yeah. I bought a Peloton about, I guess, 5 or 6 years ago when my son was born, because I thought it was something I could do from home and would allow me to do something at my own pace. And so I bought the Peloton and never got to that 50 ride milestone. For me, it was wildly uncomfortable, the seat. I think I had bruises in unmentionable areas. The seat was so uncomfortable. And so to think about these people who are subjecting themselves to that level of pain. I mean, I at one point hog-tied a pillow to the seat to try to make it better. I then bought a gel seat cover, but nothing really fixed that issue. And And I didn't really get into the community. I think what would have helped is if I had talked to people I knew in person who had Pelotons, right, and then we were in the same group together, and it started that way and then could expand beyond that. But I was so terrible. I'm like last place all the time in the class and everything else, so I wasn't really publicizing the fact that I was riding Pelotons. I didn't want everyone to see my
your
terrible stats. Yeah, bottom of the leaderboard.
Yeah, working out at home is tough anyways. I personally have never really been successful at doing that, because when I'm home, there's other things that I can think of to do, whether it's laundry, dishes, something always needs to be done. But when I'm physically at the gym, that's when I have that time, and there's nothing else that I can do other than work out. So that's the only way I can be effective. So the fact that Peloton has created this experience to where so many people, we're talking a large number of people, actually work out together regularly at home. I mean, that's extremely impressive. Because how many people do you know that have exercise equipment just sitting at their house that never gets used?
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah, well, and I'm thinking about the community, the gym community. Like, there are certain, I have neighbors and friends who go to like Hard Body Fitness or whatever it's called, and they're a community. They do these things where they celebrate how many workouts each person has, and it's a community. It's a small gym. But when you think about like the big gyms, a lot of people don't like to go to that because they feel like they're not part of the community. Right. They don't feel accepted. They feel like people are looking at them, that they don't fit in with the people with the big muscles and things. So to think of how hard it is to take people who you are not in person with, and in a huge quantity of people, mm-hmm, and to create this type of community like Peloton has done, it's just amazing.
Yeah. Peloton allows riders to join hashtags so they can see others like them on the leaderboard. And then these micro communities create belonging and accountability. People belong to dozens of sub-tribes, all under the Peloton umbrella. And the leaderboard gives the user a sense of community because you understand that you are actually riding with thousands, which creates that shared experience. And there's Peloton Facebook groups that are actively wild. Some have over 400,000 members. And on these groups, people can ask for advice, they can share struggles, and they can post sweaty selfies and cheer each other on. These groups have become the digital equivalent of a support group and gym family.
Yeah, Peloton's created a community that isn't it's not just fitness, it's vulnerability, resilience, mental health, community support, encouragement. They've become true friends through their common interest of fitness. People share their stories of weight loss, grief, breakthroughs, depression, and recovery, and frankly created lifelong Peloton fans.
Mm-hmm. So some of the takeaways that we can kind of extract from this example and bring it into our business is, Peloton created engaging leaders. So their instructors, as Brooke mentioned, are influencers. There's also rituals that they perform. This is high fives, milestones, shout outs. They create the shared experiences, which is live rides. There's micro communities, which are the hashtags, meaningful recognition, vulnerable storytelling, and online groups that feel like family.
So we've thought of so many examples as we've been speaking today, but here are some of the studies that have been done and what they've shown with regard to building community. So Harvard Business Review stated that emotionally connected customers have a 306% higher lifetime value.
Absolutely. This is so true because people tend to buy things emotionally anyways, but anytime that you have that emotional connection to someone, it always lasts longer, or emotional connection to something.
Along those same lines, Sprout Social reported that 64% of consumers want brands to help them build community.
Yeah, I mean, everybody wants to feel like they belong.
Yeah, even going back to high school, when you are a new student and you don't know where you belong, and then you find the chess club or the band or the sport team that you thrive in, and you build your community around that interest. And many times that becomes your tribe throughout your entire high school experience.
Well, think about even just when you go to a networking event, you're looking for somebody that you know.
Yeah.
Because you want to feel like you belong and you want to be comfortable when you're there. So building that community and having that sense of belonging really makes a huge impact.
McKinsey reported that businesses with strong community experience 2 to 3 times faster growth.
I believe that.
And the Gallup poll reported that people stay where they feel seen, heard, and valued.
This is why social media is so important for your business and building that community. So many people get it wrong where they're just simply focused on pushing out what they do instead of being vulnerable about who they are, what they're going through, getting feedback and engagement from the clients. All of that is so important.
Yeah. So I wanted to share an example of a way that I've tried to build community in my own town, and just as an idea that maybe some of the listeners could incorporate in their areas. I guess it was a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago, a couple friends and I, who were female business owners, created a local women's group called the Leading Ladies of Oviedo. And it's a community of women entrepreneurs. We meet once a month. There's no real agenda. We take turns on who organizes the meeting, and we do fun things based on what that person who's coordinating it wants to do. So we have one member who cooks all of her meals from scratch. So one of our meetings was her teaching us about how she does that. We had some members who really like pickleball, so one of our meetings was playing pickleball.
Oh, that's cool.
Just whatever it is that people are, whatever is unique about them, or whatever something that they enjoy, they take a meeting and they lead it, and they, you know, and we learn about what they enjoy.
So did you, when it was your turn, did you take them all to watch Love is Blind?
We have our planning meeting next week, and that's going to happen. We have to put that on the agenda. A Love is a Blind chat, like trivia. I don't know.
You could do something and tie it into business somehow.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I like what I'm picking up what you're putting down. I'm gonna have to think on that. But actually, one of the things I am going to do next year, it came from one of our podcast episodes and an idea that you had, which was the friend bucket list. Mm-hmm. So one of our meetings is going to be where everybody writes their bucket list.
Nice.
And we're going to have those same categories that we talked about in our episode.
Good.
So, you know, the way we started it was 3 of us, and we recognized that in growing our businesses, having deeper friendships is where it's at. It's not just in meeting quantity, but it's about having quality relationships, and that we like to spend time with people who were like us, because our business is such a big part of who we are, and also our families, that when we come together, we always come away with some new idea that someone else has read this book or incorporated this software or done something that we get value from. And so we originally started doing it once every other month, and then the ladies who were attending wanted to do it more frequently, so we started doing it every month. And it's just, you know, some people have come and some people have stopped coming. You know, it's not like it's been everybody who ever has comes every time. You know, like it's ebbed and flowed with the membership. But each year, at the end of the year, we come together and do the planning meeting for the next year, and everyone decides, I'll take February and I'm going to do this topic or whatever. So it's not any burden on any one person to have to plan the events every month. And so it's really, I think everybody looks forward to it, because we're doing unique things that people like, and we're getting to know them on a deeper level, because they're sharing some part of themselves with us that we wouldn't otherwise see. And it's just it is building community among like-minded businesswomen. So I share that because it was not hard to do. It's like I said, we take turns. I think I maybe planned 2 events this whole year, because all the other members were doing them. Yeah. And it's been a nice way to, and we put them on the calendar at the beginning of the year for the whole year, so everybody knows and can plan around it. So it's not like people aren't available; they can plan for it.
Yeah.
So,
that's a great idea, and just really awesome that you can be around other business owners to inspire each other, do things that you like together, and have that support system. I mean, that's so important, not just to have help when you need it, but for mental health and emotional health as well. So you don't grow a business by pushing people, you grow by connecting people. And one of the next things that we're going to talk about is Miss Biz Nation, which is our Facebook group. We live in a hybrid world where online communities are thriving like never before. And that's exactly why we created the Miss Biz Nation Facebook group. It's an online hub where Christian entrepreneurs can gather, share wins, ask questions, brainstorm ideas, pray for one another, and grow together. And it's a place where you don't have to pretend, where faith and business can coexist, where you can ask about sales funnels and prayer requests in the same post. And if Peloton can create a following with a stationary bike, Christians too can create a loving, empowering community around purpose, calling, and entrepreneurship.
So the truth is that we don't want more content, we want connection. We don't want just information. We want interaction. And we don't want to feel like customers. We want to feel like partners. So if you want to grow your business, you got to find a way to build community. And community is a place where you feel seen, supported, a place where you can contribute, and a place to belong. And one of the mind-blowing revelations that I had in putting this outline together is that Jesus did this.
Yes.
The first thing he did when he started his ministry was to gather together his 12 disciples. And he invested in those relationships. He discipled them. He shared every part of his life with them. They lived together. They traveled together. They, shared meals together. They just built that relationship so deeply.
You know we're all about that case, no trouble. All about that case, no trouble. All about that case, no trouble. All about that case.
At Bolts Legal, we are all about your case. Text or call to schedule a free consultation for all your legal needs. boltslegal.com.
Yeah, so here are some signs that someone feels truly connected to your business. They show up early, which is a miracle. They voluntarily turn their Zoom camera on. They repost your content or comment on it regularly. They wear your merch publicly. They tell strangers about your business. They celebrate your wins.
Yeah. So now I want to talk about some local drama that has happened here.
We got some tea, guys.
Recently that I have engaged a little bit in. So we have, and I think most cities have this, a Facebook group that is just like the Oviedo Facebook group. We have a bunch of them actually, but there's one in particular that has a really big membership base, a lot of followers. And what happens on those groups inevitably is people say, hey, I need a painter, I need a landscaping person, whatever. And then people chime in and give recommendations. Well, this week, the page made a rule that you could not recommend a business just because they're in your networking group.
Now, was this the BNI community page, or was this
No.
just a regular community page?
No, it was like for the city, for
Okay.
anyone who lives in the city. But I felt like it was targeting BNI.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because BNI members do that. We recommend each other on the community pages and to help each other. We don't get anything out of that. It doesn't even count as a referral for us
Right.
to do that. But we do it because we have relationships with each other and we're a community, right? Like BNI
Yeah.
is another version of a business community that works exceptionally well, and we've talked about it in so many episodes. So the rule, it was called referral integrity rule, which just that word integrity triggered me a little bit because I felt like if we were referring someone else in BNI, that we were somehow not being integrous.
Right.
And so the rule is that all recommendations must be based on I'm just reading it. All recommendations must be based on personal experience with the business or individual. Referrals made solely because someone is in your networking group, team, club, or organization are not allowed. Our community trusts this group for real recommendations. Going forward, anyone offering referrals must have personally used the business or can vouch for the service from direct experience. Group-to-group referral chains or networking obligations are not allowed. This helps keep the group authentic and protects everyone from misleading recommendations.
Well, first off, there's no way that they can they can check this and see, whether you've used them firsthand or not. And just because somebody's in my networking group doesn't mean that I haven't used them before. I've used literally almost every single person in my BNI chapter.
So I have lots of thoughts on this, but the first thing is, well, how are you going to monitor this? And so I guess there was a bunch of comments on this.
Oh, I'm sure.
And people were asking that, well, how are you going to gauge it? And the response was, well, in your post, you need to say how you know this person. Like, I use them personally and this is my experience, and so I recommend them. You can't just say someone's name, like I need a digital marketer. Can't just say Rachel Boltz. Like, you have to say, I use Rachel Boltz personally and whatever, and explain it. So that was the answer, and that was how they were gonna monitor it. But some of the things that came up for me is that in BNI, we are getting together for an hour and a half every single week. Mm-hmm. And in my chapter, we've been in existence for 5 years. So some of us have been seeing each other every week for 5 years.
And that's not to mention all the one-to-ones.
Correct.
All of the socials that you do outside of the meeting.
Correct.
So you actually end up spending even more time with them.
Yes. And within the meeting each week, we're hearing about their businesses.
Right.
And so we're evaluating, is this someone who I would feel comfortable to refer to? Not only are we evaluating them just based on how they speak and present themselves, but they also are being evaluated based on how well they do the BNI method or the BNI process or the BNI tasks, which are attendance and one-to-ones and referrals. Like, they're evaluated on that basis too. And there's, importantly, a testimonial part of every meeting where people share their experiences with other members. And so even though I haven't hired them personally, I notice if 17 other members over the last 2 years have stood up and said, I used this landscaping service and they were fantastic. And I hear that over and over again. Even though I haven't used the landscaping company, I'm going to feel comfortable to refer them because I've heard all these other testimonials. So I think I think it's a bit of a misjudgment to assume that just because we're in a group together and we're recommending each other means that we're not thoughtful about who we're recommending.
Right.
Like, I don't just put someone's name out there purely because they're in my group, and I don't think anybody does, because your reputation is tied to that. So they join the group, yes. Are you going to be evaluating them for the possibility of referring to them? Are you going to want to refer to them if you feel that they are qualified? Yes. But I just felt like it was, I felt like there was an assumption being made that we're making referrals that aren't thoughtful or meaningful or purposeful, just because they happen to be in a group.
I wonder what happened to prompt that.
Well, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I can't know for sure, but our BNI chapter is close to 60 members. So when someone asks for a recommendation, if we feel comfortable and confident in that person, there's going to be 20 people from our chapter recommending that one person. So I think the moderator probably noticed that.
Right.
And so felt that it was disingenuous. And I can understand why someone who hasn't participated may see it as disingenuous. But if you understand what the weekly meeting entails and how much time we spend together,
Yeah, I mean, even outside of that, like before somebody even gets to enter into their membership, there's a whole vetting process.
Yep.
You're getting referral checked, you're getting the interview questions, and then like they're looking you up online to see what your reviews are like. What kind of licenses do you have?
Yes.
So there's a whole process that goes along before they even step foot into their membership.
Right. And that's not to say that we don't get it wrong sometimes.
Right.
You know, there's sometimes that people become members and turn out that they weren't good people to refer business to because they just didn't do a good job. And that gets figured out, and those people usually leave.
Yeah, or get kicked out.
Yeah, true. They get kicked out too. And that's a harsh word, but non-renewed.
Yeah.
You know, or whatever. But yes, so that's true too. If there are complaints made about someone who's not doing well, and there at any point in time the chapter feels like they can't feel comfortable to refer that person to a loved one, they will be asked not to return at the time that their renewal comes up. That's a good point. So, you know, the other thing that triggered me was that this Facebook group has, I guess there's a secondary Facebook group that's a branch off of this original one, or has the same administrator, at least, same founder. And people can pay to be preferred vendors in that secondary group. So if you become a preferred vendor, then you don't have to have had personal experience because they've already been vetted by the admin. So you can just recommend them.
That seems kind of like a double standard. For sure.
That's what I thought as well. And I asked some questions, and
Did you get removed from the group?
I don't know. I haven't looked back. Hopefully not. But there was someone who was saying, well, someone asked the question, well, do your preferred vendors who are paying, do people also have to have personal experience with them? And the response was no, because they've already been vetted. And so then they said, well, how does someone become a preferred vendor? And they were like, is it just paying to be a preferred vendor? And the response was, well, no, there's actually there's actually more to it than that. And I said, is there a free option? And there was no response to that, because it feels like people can pay this administrator to become a preferred, but the people who aren't paying, who are just recommending their people who they see every week,
Right.
who you maybe have worked with, maybe not personally, but who you know, like all these things that BNI does, that's not allowed. But if you pay to be a preferred vendor and also go through and pass whatever vetting process there is there, then you skip the line and you can be referred however many times. And so it felt like a double standard, like you said, and I let my feelings be known about it. But all of it, you know, people are probably thinking, what does this have to do with community? But it does, because it's, number one, the power of the Facebook community there.
Yes.
There's 30,000 something members, maybe even more now. I don't know. There's at least 30,000 members. So, and it is active. People are on there. That's their go-to place for recommendation. So it's the power of that online community. And then it's also the power of the BNI community, who are recommending each other. That the online community is, you know, getting annoyed, seemingly, because the BNI community is having so much influence on their online community. So anyways, this is a little of the drama of...
It's because BNI is beating out that paid preferred vendor.
You said it, not me, but I I don't know, but I just wanted to talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty powerful, just how much of an impact those community groups and pages can have, and BNI as well.
Yeah.
So some ways that you can build community starting today are to be intentional. So build community on purpose, not by accident. You can also create spaces. Like Brooke had mentioned, she has her in-person group called Leading Ladies, and there's also online spaces like Miss Biz Nation. You can tell stories too. Stories are very, very powerful, and they really glue people together. And then another way is to be vulnerable. People connect with authenticity. Celebrate people, make them feel like MVPs, give those shout outs, give recognition. And then celebrate people. Oh, I just said that. Pray for people. Prayer builds spiritual loyalty. Nothing else can match. And also show up consistently. People trust what they see often.
So your challenge this week is to send 5 people a personal message of appreciation. Next is invite someone to Miss Biz Nation on
Love
Facebook.
that.
Yes, invite them, but not only invite, if you're not already a member there, join the group and share with us. Tell us something that you're struggling with in your business, or let us know of a win that you've had. Those kind of things, we want to engage with you and build that community, but we can't do it if you don't engage, if you don't participate. So we encourage you to do that. You can attend or host an in-person community meetup. You can start a consistent weekly post that brings your people together. You can share a vulnerable story that reminds people they're not alone. And I would ask you to also just think about the things that you enjoy doing. For me, I like to rollerblade. And so I had a friend who enjoys rollerblading as well. So we started a rollerblading club. I mean, it's that simple, but it brings people together around a hobby that they enjoy. And now, instead of just the 2 of us rollerblading, we can be building community and expanding our network and our reach just by doing something we were going to do anyways. Mm-hmm. So I encourage you, if there's something you enjoy, a hobby, just create a group, create a club, and start getting together. And it could be online or it could be in person, whatever it may be, but that's a great way to get started.
Yeah. And also pray. Ask God to help you build the kind of community that reflects your heart, that welcomes people and multiplies your kingdom, or his kingdom.
His kingdom, yes.
His kingdom.
Yeah.
We don't have a kingdom.
Yeah. So, fact check that. That's true. So thank you for joining today on Miss Biz. If this episode inspired you to finally build that Facebook group that you've been procrastinating on, then please share it with a friend.
We appreciate you and are honored to be on this journey with you. We can't wait to help you, to encourage you, and show you how to grow personally, professionally, and spiritually.
If you found Miss Biz helpful, please leave a review and share with others.
You can follow us on social media at Miss Biz Podcast.
For legal questions or services, please visit boltslegal.com.
And for digital marketing needs, please visit boltsmedia.com. Let's get biz done.